Joining me for the next hour is Talk's excellent international editor, Isabel Oakeshott. Thanks for coming on board, Isabel.
Good evening. This North Korea thing, I mean, you know, we joke about it, but at least North Korea might be a bit cheaper than the United Kingdom right now with all the bills that everybody's facing. And this overreach from the police is just astonishing, isn't it?
It's frightening and it's sinister. You know, our friend and colleague, the Daily Telegraph columnist Alison Pearson, on Remembrance Sunday, 9:30 in the morning, two coppers standing there banging. She answered the door in a 90. You know, we'll need to talk to you about some troublesome tweets that you posted on Twitter a year ago. And Essex Police, that was Essex Police, they came forward and said, oh, we stand by that. And now Hertfordshire have stood by arresting two parents. Their only crime, apparently, to post in a private WhatsApp parents group reservations about the quality of their kids' head teacher. That's all they did.
I know we're going to talk about this later, or you will later on the show, but I mean, this really, really worries me and infuriates me. Of course it isn't justifiable. For goodness sake, you know, the force needs to get a grip, look long and hard at itself, and ask how it could possibly argue that it's justifiable to send multiple police. I don't even think they should have been sending any police to the door of that household. These were decent people, hard-working people, and their only worry was about their daughter's education. That has nothing to do with the law, and it is a complete nonsense that public resources are using this, are being abused in this way. And this stuff has got to stop. It really has. And if that takes some kind of new legislation or new regulation in order to get the message across to, frankly, clearly bone-thick police who can't discriminate between what is and isn't a justified use of public resources, then that's what we need to do, because I am hearing far too much of this.
I totally agree with you, Isabel. We'll come back to this issue a little later in this hour. But I think we're talking about really dumb, thick top cops, chief constables who don't understand the role of the police in a free democracy. You don't send 6 coppers to 2 middle-class parents whose only alleged crime was to take part in a WhatsApp group about the quality of their kids' school's head teacher. And guess what? 5 weeks later, those parents were told, oh, we've had to think about it and there will be no crime here, nothing to see here. Well, I hope that they sue the backside off of Hertfordshire Police to bring them into line. But we'll talk about that a little later. Well, let's have a little look first before we discuss the ludicrous Keir Starmer, our increasingly farcical Prime Minister. He has, of course, hosted this hilariously ridiculous summit on smashing the gangs. 40 representatives of 40 nations wasting their time and money, coming to London to listen to this guy's absolutely hopeless strategy about solving the migrant crisis. Smash the gangs, smash the gangs. But you haven't smashed any in 9 months. It obviously doesn't work. Anyway, here he is with confected fury addressing these poor people who've come across halfway across the world to listen to his utter claptrap. Here it goes.
My message to people smugglers is this: we're breaking your business model and leaving you nowhere to hide. We're working with law enforcement partners across the world to freeze your assets, to ban your travel, and put you behind bars. When I was this country's chief
that's obviously in his own office with his flags hanging behind him. False patriotism there. That guy hates Britain. We all know that. If he loved Britain, he might do something about our borders. Far more worried about Ukraine's sovereign borders than Britain's, but that's another issue. But here he is, actually at the statement at this summit, addressing these poor people who have to listen to this speech.
Illegal migration is a massive driver of global insecurity. It undermines our ability to control who comes here. And that makes people angry. It makes me angry, frankly. Because it's unfair on ordinary working people who pay the price. From the cost of hotels to our public services struggling under the strain.
Can you believe the barefaced cheek of this guy? This is all his fault. So it turns out that I'll smash the gangs. Well, we'll sort this out. The Tories have ruined everything. I'll get rid of the Rianda scheme. There'll be no more deterrence. But I will solve this crisis. So it now is official that this guy, since he became Prime Minister, has presided over the highest number of migrants coming to this country ever in history. There it is, his failure there to see. So 119 small boats, 642 migrants have arrived here since January the 1st. I think over 30,000 now have come since he became Prime Minister. More than 4,000 made that illegal voyage across the Channel last month in March alone. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, there are two Albanians on the front page of The Sun today posting a TikTok video boasting about how lovely their new hotel room is, telling fellow wannabe asylum seekers that once they pay their 3,000 quid fee to get across the Channel, your route to Britain is 100% guaranteed. For him to stand there and act as if he's doing something about this, when he's doing the square root of damn all, that's what makes me angry. I don't know about you.
Well, I think it makes millions of people in our country absolutely furious to hear Keir Starmer making such lame proclamations, saying, oh, believe me, it makes me angry. It doesn't make the population angry. It makes the population red hot mad. And that's how he as Prime Minister should feel about this massive, catastrophic breach of national security and total, once again, abuse of the British taxpayer. And, you know, for him to stand up there and say, my message to the vile people smuggling gangs is, we're leaving you nowhere to hide. No, you're not. They've got everywhere to hide. They don't even have to, hang on, they don't even have to hide. You know, they continue carrying out their business literally in broad daylight, and literally every day they continue to get away with it. And as you and I have discussed ad nauseum, this strategy is never going to work because you have to smash the market.
Exactly. Smash the migrants, stop the migrants, and that will automatically smash the gangs because, you know, call me controversial, but that means that the evil, faithful smuggling gangs have got no more customers, no one to bring across the Channel. Stop the migrants, you automatically smash the gangs. They're doing it in the wrong way. This strategy is a nonsense. It's performative politics. It's just headline hunting. It looks good in the papers. Smash the gangs. Well, you know, here we are, 9 months on. They haven't even come close to catching any people smugglers, let alone smashing any gangs at all. It's hysterical. It's a joke.
And it's an insult to people. And I do wonder, I will never condone anyone taking the law into their own hands or any type of vigilanteism. But I do wonder how far away we are from people getting down onto the Kent coast and taking the law into their own hands on this. I tell you, it's happened in other countries where people have got immensely frustrated by the total systematic failure of authorities to do anything. And I don't want that to happen. I hope that it doesn't happen. But how long can this go on for? How much longer can people be prepared to tolerate and expected to tolerate this invasion? Because that is what it is. It is little short of an invasion about which our government is doing the square root of nothing. And it is dangerous. And it is the government's duty to protect its citizens by allowing a never-ending flow of unknown characters. Many of them may not well wish us well, and do not share our values. We don't know where they've come from. We don't know what their agenda is. What we do know is that they're going to cost us an awful lot of money, which we don't have. That is an utter dereliction of the government's duty, and it cannot go on.
Billions and billions and billions of pounds this crisis is costing us. It is absolutely terrifying. It's a scandal, and this government's doing nothing about it. Keir Starmer is doing absolutely nothing. Absolute disgrace. And just briefly before we go to break, just to highlight what a preposterous little man we have, pretending to be our leader, wanting to be our Prime Minister, but frankly not really fulfilling that role in any way whatsoever. So he makes this speech yesterday at this stupid summit, which is just pointless and empty, but has to quickly hot-foot it out of there and across town to host a conference down in Downing Street about the fictional TV drama Adolescence, which I've watched. It's very good. Stars Stephen Graham. It's the story of a little 13-year-old white kid who gets kind of caught up in toxic masculinity, gets sucked into his dark little internet world in his bedroom, and desensitized because he feels he's being badly treated contemptuously by young women of his age, goes and stabs one to death, a poor little girl to death. You know, it's a good story, very well told, and you know, this has happened, but very, very rarely. Now, are you going to tell Keir Starmer, Isabel, or shall I, that this is a fictional drama and there is no evidence that we have any problem at all with young boys, young white kids, boys, going out and stabbing girls because of what they saw in the wonderful world of toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate and all that? There's no evidence for it at all. So he's just chasing some sort of phantom issue that attracts him because it's been on telly. Meanwhile, if you want to have a real crisis, you know, there's loads of evidence that loads and loads of black kids are stabbing each other to death in gang warfare. But of course, Keir Starmer doesn't want to go there, because if he starts highlighting that, it'll make it look as if he might be a bit racist about young black kids. But he's very happy, very comfortable having a go at white kids and Andrew Tate and the like. We do not have a problem with little kids, 13-year-old teenagers going out and stabbing girls because of what they saw on the internet, and yet Keir Starmer's acting like it's real. It's really worrying.
Well, I finished watching Adolescence last night, and I did find it very, very powerful viewing, and I think it can prompt a lot of conversations. And just to play devil's advocate for a minute, I would point out that I think that the murderers of Brianna Jai, that was a white teenage boy, was one of the culprits there. So
yeah, but it wasn't a toxic masculinity problem. This is what Adolescence was about. It was about the Andrew Tate syndrome, toxic masculinity.
It was a bit about that. I mean, it doesn't go into, actually, the programme, that show doesn't go into the detail really of what he was looking at on the internet. So we're left to be unsure about exactly what.
It was porn. It was porn. There were pictures of. It was porn that he was looking at. Hardcore porn.
We don't know fully what he was looking at in the show. But I think your point is that there's another point that you made there, which I fully agree with, which is the Prime Minister shouldn't be having policy shaped and pushed by Netflix dramas.
Exactly. That is my point. Yeah, that is my point.
You know, shoehorning this into the prime ministerial agenda just because it's something that everybody's talking about. I'm not actually sure. I'm still reflecting on the drama and what we are to make of it. I think there's so much to discuss there, but I don't think it's a cause for an immediate prime ministerial summit meeting.
Yeah, we've got to worry about what kids do see online and what they do when they're in their bedrooms looking at their computers and all that, and there is a problem there. But the contention of Adolescence was loads of little boys are watching, you know, incel stuff and toxic masculinity stuff and going out and stabbing little girls. Well, there isn't a problem. We don't have that problem. Keir Starmer's going out dealing with a phantom issue that he saw on a TV drama. That to me is kind of worrying.